Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to this month's State of Avatar Legends. If you're not familiar with this series of what I do, basically every month we get together and we talk about the news that happened in the last month of all things Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, and everything else that's going on, like the Yangtze novel. Which wait, didn't the Yangtze novel come out this month, or did it come out last month? No, it came out this month, if I'm not mistaken. So we should actually be talking about the Yangtze novel as well, which I have not read yet. But we'll talk about that later as well. Let's see what's going on here in the Chickadee chat. Let's say hello to all the folks. What's up, Bami Teko? What's going on, Tevin? Actually, you know what? I think the music is like too low in my ears. Let me increase it just a little bit, just so we get a little bit of the ambience of music. What's going on, Tevin? What's going on, Incognito? Mid Melker, Dynamat, Scarlet Spider. I already said hello to Mid. Cyclo, James, Doomface. Howdy, howdy. How's everybody doing this weekend or this upcoming weekend? Hey, thank you, Ken Fam. Let's give some hearts in the chat for Ken Fam for the 21 months of being a member on this channel. Thank you so much for the continued support, Ken. Hold on, I'm trying to get you some hearts. If you are a member of the chat, you know how to do it. Hit them with the purple hearts. If you're not a member, just hit them with some regular hearts. But let's show some love. Show some love. Oh, that's right. You can do heart emojis now in the chat, which is kind of cool. The book, it just came out last week. Yeah, the Yangtze novel, which is funny because Avatar News didn't actually report on the release of it, showing how I have a feeling that Avatar News does not read the novels. I just have a sneaking suspicion. Thank you again, once again, for being a member on the channel, Ken Fam. Thank you so much. Shalom and hello. What's up, Paz? What's up, Mentality of Nature? Dylan, what's going on? Lauren, what's going on? I have about 90 pages left. All right, cool. Hi, Antoine. I am new here. Oh, welcome to the chat. Yeah, we're just here talking, just vibing out. No expectations here whatsoever. But yeah, like I said, so today we're going to be talking about the bigger news is going to be the new Avatar music that just got released. And it is going to be released on vinyl and digital. So you'll be able to listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, the original soundtrack from book 1. They also are in talks to do book 2 and 3 of the original series, and then we're gonna be talking about an Iroh spinoff, the possibility of Avatar Zito getting his own chronicles of the Avatar book, lots of good stuff. So let's go ahead and hang out and let's do some talking and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and hit up the next scene here. So our first big story that we're gonna be talking about, which isn't really a big story, it's just a story, I should say, not a big story, just a story. So Mattel is releasing an Avatar: The Last Airbender collector set on Barbie's movie release date. Did anyone here see Barbie, by the way, in the chat? I'm just kind of curious if anyone saw Barbie. It will be available at the Mattel Creations booth at San Diego Comic-Con and on their website. You can check out an unboxing and more details here. So we have like a nice little animation here of I don't know how well my animation's showing up on the actual stream. That's actually not that bad. Usually my video plays pretty poorly on which reminds me, I probably should have put Safari on this side instead of Google Chrome, because Google Chrome has been tripping. What app can we read the Kyoshi novel? You can do it on the Kindle app if you want to look at it digitally. You also can do it on the Google Play Store, Apple Books. But if you want it physically, you can get it anywhere you buy books. Because it's a physical book. It's also an audiobook. You can listen to it as an audiobook. So Audible. Again, Google Play, what else? Libby, if you have a library app, you can read on the library app as well. But yes, everybody, thank you so much, Ken, for being so nice to Bammy and introducing them to the channel. I need the vinyl. I don't even own a vinyl. And I hear that they're really good because I've been to like a few music shops. And I know we're off topic right now. Barbie, we'll talk about the music. I'm sure we're going to have lots to talk about with the music, but we'll stay on topic right now we're talking about that right now. So Barbie, Mattel, has anyone watched the Barbie movie? Did anyone like it? I actually watched it. I fell asleep through it, bro. I know so many people are like really enjoying it, and I'm happy for people who enjoy it. It just was not the movie for me, man. It was not the movie for me. Wait, I can get the music for Avatar for my Avatar Legends game? Yes, you can. Yes, that's a good point, Cyclo. Yes, you totally can. Just have the music playing in the background as you're playing your campaign in Avatar Legends. So yeah, that's really dope. I think the single is kind of mid, but I think the rest will be better. Wait, what do you mean mid? So if you're calling the single mid, that means you're calling Avatar music mid. It's just literally music from the show, from the original show. Though I will say that I do prefer the Legend of Korra soundtrack to Airbender soundtrack. Generally speaking, like I think Korra has a stronger soundtrack, stronger motifs, stronger themes in that music. Says Mid has not seen Barbie. Where can I watch the Kyoshi novel? I don't know where you can watch the Kyoshi novel, although I do know there is a fan YouTube site that is animating the early chapters of it. I forget the name of it, but I think if you type in visual novel Kyoshi in YouTube, you should be able to find it, but they've only done the first 4 chapters. It's not like the whole thing. If you're trying to get the full experience of the full novel of the Kyoshi novels, you're going to want to, again, look to your audiobook platforms, library platforms, book platforms. I'm going to South Africa's Comic-Con in September. Oh, sick. I haven't seen Barbie yet. Gonna wait until streaming. That's probably a good idea, honestly. It was good. I also fell asleep. Oh my God. So wait, I'm not the only one who fell asleep through Barbie, dude. I did not. It just didn't vibe with me. And it happened when she got to the, well, spoilers. Oh no, I think it's in the trailer. When she gets to the real world, that's when I started getting kind of like, and I kind of like kept coming in and out of the movie. Like in the middle, like I was like, oh, they're in a boardroom scene, and I'll wake up. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on with the plot? You know. But anyway, so yeah, apparently at Comic-Con there was a special Barbie edition, Mattel version of Avatar. So if you guys are into collectibles, that's a thing. If you're into, is anyone in here into collectibles? I'm not like one of those fans. I know some people, and that's the funny thing too. I feel like a lot of times, if you say you're a fan of a certain franchise or a certain whatever, people kind of assume that you're into every little nerdy thing that is possible to be nerdy about in that franchise. Like I remember recently, another Avatar YouTuber sent me like some link because the cast of the original show, and I think Legend of Korra too, were going to be at some sort of event close to where I live. And I was like, oh, thanks for the invite, but like I'm not really like super into like the voice talent. Like I don't care so much. I know a lot of people in the fandom are like super in love with like the voice talent and really into that. Like love going to those events and like, you know, meeting those people. I'm not like super huge into that. I'm more into like the story and the lore. So like if somebody, like if the creators of the show, for example, were on some panel, I probably would want to go like, you know, first thing and hear from them. But when it's like the actors, I care a little bit less for that because I'm not like, you know, super into like the celebrity or like the I mean, I appreciate the talent of the actors, you know, lending all that stuff. But in terms of like meeting them, getting their autographs, that kind of thing, never really something that I'm particularly into. But people always assume, you know, that you're into specific things when you say you're into like a certain fandom, which I think is kind of funny. And collectibles is one of those too. It's like, oh, what, you're a fan of blah, blah, blah. How many collectibles do you have? Or action figures? I'm like, nothing. I don't buy stuff like that. I don't do the whole, you know, buying little trinkets. Usually people, the only reason I have trinkets because someone came to my house. They're like, wait, what about all these trinkets you have on your? I'm like, all those are gifts because that's what people assume I want. Like I have like a freaking Baby Yoda on my bookshelf right now. What else? I have a Black Panther up there. A Game of Thrones. What is that? A Jon Snow up there, I think. I have like a Boba Fett. Like I have a bunch of little trinkets, none of which I bought myself. Like these are just gifts that people gave to me because they assumed that I, you know, like that kind of stuff. Then K-pop says, even though that they fell asleep during Barbie, they're gonna rewatch it for sure. I do like the jazzy vibes of the Korra soundtrack. Yeah, me too, man. The jazzy vibes of Korra soundtrack is pretty, like, Korra soundtrack is really baller. I love the soundtrack. I mean, you guys want to talk about the music, so here we'll just skip to the music story because we got music on the brain, and that's the next story anyway. So that's good. So if you are not familiar, it recently got announced that the original soundtrack from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, is finally being remastered and put out to the public. So for those of you who don't know, the only way you could listen to Avatar music is within the show itself for the past 10 years, almost 20 years, almost, right? Yeah, almost 15 years. The soundtrack has only been able to be listened to if you're watching the actual television show. We haven't actually been able to purchase it, and now it's being remastered for digital release, so like on Spotify, Apple, and also vinyl. So if you're into like, you know, the old vinyl stuff, you can do it too. Yeah, Nickelodeon and Republic Records Kids and Family announced the long-awaited release of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Water, music from the animated series on digital and vinyl. The album featuring an updated and re-recorded score from the first season of the series. Oh, which is really cool because a lot of times some of the music in the original show was orchestrated by synth. And what synth is like a digital synthesizer, you know, sort of thing, a music thing. So you could hear it sometimes where you're like, oh, that's not a real instrument. That's just a computer emulating an instrument. But now it actually got re-recorded with an actual like full on like orchestra, and it's gonna sound very full and complete versus it sounding like a temp track or something like that. So that's gonna be really cool. So Emmy award-winning composer and musician Jeremy Zuckerman, who composed the music for the award-winning animated Nickelodeon series, has expanded his original compositions and employed a full orchestra for the Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 1 Water music from the animated series. The original album artwork was created by Brian Konietzko, who is the co-creator and art director of Avatar: The Last Airbender and co-chief creative officer of Avatar Studios. So yeah, this is actually completely new official art, which is really nice. I always like when Brian Konietzko does art for Avatar. I think it's always really nice. But yeah, okay, so everybody's talking about music. So does anyone have a favorite? I don't even have a favorite track from Airbender, if I'm being completely honest. Like, in terms of like Airbender and its music, I find Korra's music more memorable for me personally. And I saw someone talk about like the jazzy vibes of the Korra. And someone also asked like if we're gonna have more albums of music, and yes, that is the plan, at least right now, is to do books 2 and 3. I suspect that we should have at least book 3 Fire on soundtrack by the time that the first movie comes out. That's my idea. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be for sure, because again, I think Jeremy Zuckerman is working on the new movie, so he might be too busy working on the movie. It's just that he can do it right now. I feel like he can do it right now because we're not in production yet for the Avatar movie, the adult version of the movie, and with the strike, which we're going to talk about a little bit later too, the writer strike and the actor strike, because it does affect some stuff, some stories that are coming up in the monthly news. It's going to be a while before he is going to even have anything to compose, because they can't do anything right now. Oh, there you go. So Melker says that he does, or they do, collect items. What's your favorite item that you've collected for Avatar: The Last Airbender? I could care less about Barbie. I'd rather see Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I hear, is kind of boring. It's just a lot of talking. I actually want to see it too, but freaking all the IMAXs keep getting sold out, so I'm probably going to watch Haunted Mansion instead of seeing Oppenheimer, because it's freaking sold out. And it says that, I think someone said that it's going to be sold out for like the next month or something like that, like in terms of the IMAX showings for Oppenheimer. So it's probably going to be a minute before I even get to see Oppenheimer. Which ending theme is better, upbeat ATLA or mournful Legend of Korra? Like, dude, like that Legend of Korra, just, I don't know, like I remember the Legend of Korra music more than I do Airbender. The only thing I think I remember from Airbender a lot is like the like, that's pretty cool. I love how many queer characters are in the Avatar universe. Might be the biggest franchise with this many queer characters. While that is true, and we should give them credit for that, we should also note that none of the main storylines yet, anything in the animation space, has had that quite yet. They've been doing it kind of only in like the novels and like the comics, like, which are kind of like lower tier Avatar. I'll give them their full credit when we actually see representation of that, like in like animation, like live animation. I met Quentin Flynn, Iroh's mugger. I didn't realize that until months later. Wait, how'd you meet this random voice actor? Iroh's mugger. That's like such a random person to me too. But don't wait. Oops, I just missed a message. But you don't like any kind of merch? Not necessarily. I don't really care for merch. I would say the only merch I've ever cared about are lightsabers from Star Wars, because I just like lightsabers, and that's mostly because I like fighting with lightsabers. That's like a pastime I have when I used to be into Star Wars a whole lot. But no, yeah, I'm not into any kind of merch at all. Or maybe like t-shirts. I'm into like t-shirts. Like I have a few. I have this Avatar. It's an Avatar Star Wars crossover t-shirt where it's like Katara as Padme, Zuko as Anakin, Appa as Chewbacca. Like, I like stuff like that, like t-shirts I'm into, but not like figurines and things like that. I'm excited for the ATLA soundtrack, but I'm going to be the most excited for Korra's soundtrack. Oh, little thing that people kind of forget. The Legend of Korra Book 1 soundtrack is already out. It's been out since 2013. The only thing about it is that the whole series isn't out. So books 2 soundtrack, 3, 4, all those soundtracks are not available. But you can get right now, like if you go to Apple Music or wherever you get your music, Legend of Korra Book 1 soundtrack has already been out for 10 years at this point. Hey, what's up, Ethan Craig? Sorry I missed you there. Firebending Training. Oops, hold on. Firebending Training from the Korra soundtrack is still a bop, dude. Everything from Legend of Korra is a bop, man. Everything's a banger. I love before the Korra soundtrack, Amon backstory music. Yeah, like the Amon's backstory music is really good too. I love how we're probably gonna get new movie and show soundtracks along with the reasons. Yeah. I think now that they're being more intentional. Oh, and that's another news story that I'm not gonna talk about today. It's not on my list, but I should talk about right now. But the CEO of Paramount or whoever Viacom, whatever owns all that property that owns Nickelodeon, specifically said that from here on out, all their animated movies will no longer be original, which is bad for original movies, but good because they specifically said that they're going to be focusing on things like SpongeBob SquarePants, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. So it looks like they are really putting a major focus. And the reason I even brought that up is because you mentioned that, is that, hey, we're going to have Mentality of Nature mentioned that the movie, the show, all the new stuff we're going to get is going to have full support, which I feel like has been an issue for Avatar since it started, is that it hasn't really got full backing, full support from Nickelodeon in the way that I think it deserves. It could be a much bigger franchise, in my opinion. Yeah, you can listen to some extracted songs on YouTube for Avatar: The Last Airbender in terms of the soundtrack, but it's not fully orchestrated. It's not the full master. It's going to be a little bit low quality. Oops, I'm missing. Steven Universe left the chat. Wait, what does that mean? I don't know what that means, Ninja. Oppenheimer? Oh, I say Oppenheimer. But sure, Oppenheimer. Where can you watch Avatar for free? Nowhere, and you shouldn't want to try. Well, no, that's a lie. Library. If you have a local library, you can always request them to have you watch any kind of. I mean, I don't realize that people don't. Libraries are a thing, and you can get free stuff there, and you can do it legally in the way that people can actually watch or earn money. I don't think people realize this, but when you do check something out of a library or you request something out of a library, the original creator is paid. They're paid by the library. The library doesn't just get stuff for free. Not all the time. Sometimes libraries get donations, but yeah, libraries use them. They still exist. I know that's a memorable one from the show. I hope the Earth avatar after Korra is non-binary or like gender fluid. See, that's the thing. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they might have that for one of the friend groups, like somebody within Team Avatar. But I don't think they always go as far as having the main character be non-binary or gender fluid. At least in my opinion, I don't think they're gonna do that like from jump. I met Quentin Flynn in a convention in East Peoria, Illinois. What kind of convention was it? Have you seen Star Wars Visions? Both seasons are great. Yeah, I did. I wasn't like super into it. Oh my goodness! I just got a notification that YouTube Premium is increasing from $15.99 to $18.99. Jeez Louise. Yeesh. All right, that has nothing to do with anything that just happened right now. I'm just like, man, life is expensive now, guys. I'm finally here. I ran home from work to watch this. Oh, Parker, hey, thanks. We're talking about the score right now. The Avatar: The Last Airbender Book 1 score that is coming out. Hey, what's going on? 30 milligrams? 30 milligrams. What's good? It's a long time sub here. Finally caught you on a live stream. How you doing? We're doing good. We're talking about the soundtrack that's finally coming out, the remastered full orchestration soundtrack that's coming out for Airbender. I think it's coming out in October. Wait, what's the release date for this? Actually, I forgot. I don't think we have a release date, but I want to say it was coming out in October for some reason. Okay, don't quote me on that. I don't think it's coming out on October. Like, how did I know it was coming out in October? Hold on. The pre-sales are right here. Yeah, I don't think it has a release date, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. It says pre-save or pre-ad on Apple Music and Spotify. For some reason, something in my brain says it's coming out in October. I don't know why my brain's saying that, but yeah. Okay, so I did mention that we're going to talk a little bit about the writer's strike and the Screen Actors strike because it affected something that happened recently at Comic-Con. So at Comic-Con, we were supposed to get a new episode of Braving the Elements, But because Dante Bosco and Janet Varney, who are the voice actors for Zuko and Korra respectively, could not attend because that is outside of the SAG-AFTRA clause, is that not only can you not perform and work for any of the major studios, like Nickelodeon, Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers, all them, you also can't do any promotion for them, which includes podcasts. So we were hoping that we were going to get a big announcement. I mean, we suspect in the fan base that the big announcement that we were going to have was the soundtrack. Like, we think that on the podcast they were going to do the regular episode, and they were going to say, hey, by the way, guys, we have the soundtrack. But since the podcast got canceled, they just did a regular social media post about the soundtrack coming out. But there were a few other things that came out of the panels, or that came out of Comic-Con. One of those being the Iroh spinoff, which I've been teasing, I'm actually doing a video about the Iroh spinoff, I think tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow. I'm uploading a video tomorrow on Saturday about it. But basically, we are getting a new Iroh comic book along with June. Let me read the chat, though, before I move off into the talking about the new story. Oh, Steven Universe has more gay characters than Avatar. Oh, okay. And I think I knew about that. I think I heard about that. I think I was looking at a YouTube video or like some sort of social media post where someone was mentioning that Steven Universe was able to propel to do as much as it did because of what Legend of Korra did with Korra and Asami, even as little as that was. Library cards are so OP. The app for film is called Canopy, sometimes Hoopla. Yeah, I use an app called Libby, and I get every audiobook, almost every audiobook, that I could want, every ebook I could want. Have you read the book Legend of Genji? That is a fan project, and yeah, I did read the first few issues, and I thought it was pretty good. Oh, hey, JD. Hey, Jay Bradley, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a minute. Are you going to talk about the Republic City DLC? You mean not the DLC, I think you meant the supplement for Avatar Legends, right? At some point, I'm actually very behind on my Avatar Legends coverage. I'm still in the Roku era, and I haven't even gotten to all the other stuff yet. But eventually, at some point, I will talk about that lore. Anime Zap. It was in the Embassy Suite, just across the river from. Oh, okay, got you. That's where the convention was. I could link the song if you want me to. I just listened to it. Book One Water releases November. Yeah, the first single came out. You can listen to it now, like on Apple Music. It's called Aang Becomes Water or something like that, I think. Or Aang Becomes Avatar State. I can't remember. Something about Aang and Avatar State and whatever else. Wait, good job, Jay Bradley. What happened? Oh, move from work to home? Wait, what? Oh, I just finished my exam, so I'm getting ready to eat a fresh steaming bowl of relaxation. I like it. Oh, okay, there it is. November 17th is the release date, apparently, according to Mentality of Nature, for the soundtrack. But anyway, let's go into this new Iroh comic. So basically, it is a comic about the bounty hunter and the tea brewer. So some might say this is a very odd pairing. Why would they pair Iroh and June? Does anyone know why they might? I mean, I know the answer, but does anyone in the chat know why they might pair these two characters together, who have only had a very brief interaction in the show? Because there is a reason. And now I wonder if you guys know. In it, doesn't Avatar have like 4 gay characters? No, a lot more. Because of the new Avatar Legends expansion, there's been first trans character was mentioned. There's a few non-binary characters I know that got mentioned. It's in the 20s, I would say, of queer characters in Avatar. Ooh, moving from an apartment to a house. Wait, time out. Who's moving from an apartment to a house? Or Ken, are you doing that? Are you actually buying a house? I'm hype about any Avatar spin-offs. I hope they do spin-offs for some of the characters they introduced in Avatar Legends. Oh, that would be really... That would actually make me more interested, because it means we would get entirely new stories. I'm not a super huge fan of getting like all these comics from existing characters. I want to see new stories being played out. And new time periods too. Like, let's see something in like, Avatar Yang Chen's time period, or like Avatar Zito's time period, Yeah, the cover art's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good cover art. I feel like it's a little bit basic. It's just like, standard poses or whatever, but it's a good cover. It's fair. Yes, there you go. Aang Becomes Ocean was the title. I think it went pretty well. Iroh had a crush on her. Yeah, well, more than that, a little more than that. Iroh has the hots for June. Yes. Uncle Iroh was laying that bossing. Oh my God, Dark Knight. They're fan favorites. Yeah, you guys are getting closer. You're warmer. You guys are warmer for those who are saying Iroh has a crush on June within the show. Ah, there it is. Iroh was being pretty creepy with her. There you go. Nail on the head. Mentality of nature. Yes. So that is probably the reason why they're doing the comic about these two, is because in the episode Bato of the Water Tribe, I don't know if you guys remember this scene, but it's when the Shirsu paralyzes June by accident because it gets the perfume messes up its pheromones and everything. So when that happened, June falls back on Iroh. Iroh catches her so that she doesn't fall on the ground, and then just stays there. Like, he just stays on the ground. And the whole thing about it is that some people in the fandom didn't really like that because it seemed like it was like sexual assault from Iroh, because it plays off as an innocent joke, where June is laid up on top of him, he's holding her, and then Zuko goes like, "Hey, uncle, I didn't see you get hit by the tongue. What? Like, you shouldn't be paralyzed." And then like Iroh's like, "Shut up," as he's being like, he's underneath, which I think personally, is innocent. It's not like super bad, but I can see how people can take offense to that and think it's like, sexual assault or unwanted touching and that sort of a thing. Especially when you look at that trope in anime, it's way worse if in actual anime, which is the creepy old man trope, where creepy old men typically in anime are very kind of disrespectful, and put younger female characters in uncomfortable situations, usually with like, groping and touching, like actually touching and groping them. Iroh didn't actually do that. It's way more innocent. But yeah, and I think that's the only reason why they would pair these two characters together, which means that they're probably going to bring that scene up, I think, of when Iroh was being a little bit of a creeper. But I don't know how they're going to do that in the comic book. I think what's going to happen is that there's going to be like a brief apology at the beginning of the comic book where June's going to like say, "Hey, you're really creepy that time that you freaking, held me to you when I was paralyzed," and then Iroh will like apologize for it, and then they'll go off on their adventure with whatever the adventure of this story will be. You think they're going to look for Azula? I don't know. I don't think so. Not when we're going to get an Azula solo comic. I don't think that's probably going to happen. I think it's literally just going to be about June and Iroh. And the thing about these one-shots, I think they've been more missed than hit. Like, we had Toph, Beifong, and the Metal Bending Academy. I completely forgot. Like, I read that comic, and I completely forgot what that comic even was about. Then we had the Suki Alone, which I thought was, like, okay, but not great at all. Like, it was unnecessary, I think, to me. And then we had, what was the other one? Katara and the Pirate Silver, which was also kind of like a throwaway thing, but it's kind of cool though, because one of those characters does show up in Avatar Generations, that new mobile game. But yeah, like I feel like most of the time these comics have been mid to meh for these single comics. So I don't know, I'm not super looking forward to this comic because I feel like it might still be in that vein of being kind of like yes, I agree, it's just a joke. I think it's just a joke. What do you think of the theory that Iroh being in the Earth Kingdom gives them leverage over the Fire Nation, and that Iroh is aware and okay with this? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean. Uncle Iroh desires consent more than tea. Yeah, that might be like what the storyline is going to be about. He ain't no Roshi. Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's the thing too. I feel like sometimes when people try to point certain things out, which I think is good. I think it's good to point out the poor behavior from Iroh, because yes, ultimately speaking, that is inappropriate behavior. You shouldn't have someone who obviously can't give consent on your body. You know what I mean? Like, they might not want that. They can't give you permission. You shouldn't do that. Like, you totally couldn't. But we shouldn't also go on the other side of it and just try and crucify Iroh, right? Where yeah, you try to equate him to like a character like Orochi, who is way worse, or like Minato, or like other characters like that one creeper in Fullmetal Alchemist who like smacks the lady's butt when she's like shooting the gun. Like, those are the characters who are bad, like absolutely bad. Like that's not like in a gray area in between, sort of a thing. Yeah, that's true. The joke was kind of fine for the time, but nowadays this joke wouldn't exist, but it's good to make it suitable for now. Right. Like, it's good to acknowledge it, but I don't think we should crucify like Iroh for it or anything like that. I love how they take characters and put them in different places. Oh, you mean in the comic books? I would think that it's probably because lots of parents have their kids watching the show and they don't approve of it. As if kids, I don't know, I think parents would also see that as like a joke. I think modern parents, I would agree, Ethan, I would agree with that for modern parenting. Like, I would think parents from like 2014 and onwards might be like, hey, like let's make a note of that. But like parents of children when the show was coming out, like in 2005, 2006, I don't think that was like a conversation, really. Like, and that's the thing. This like controversy, like quote unquote controversy between June and Iroh didn't really pop up until like semi recently. It wasn't really like it was more like a retroactive. Hey, that wasn't really cool that Iroh did that. It wasn't like in the moment, like when the show was out. Like when the show was out, it wasn't even like a thing, like at all. Like it wasn't talked about at all. Who do you think is the strongest bender? No avatars on statements only. That'll be Amon, based on feats. I don't care about comics. I just want more TV shows and movies, which is why 2025 is going to be such a banger year. Parker, I couldn't agree more. It's not that I don't care about the comic books. It's just that I don't care as much for the comic books. So, yeah, I agree with your sentiment. Exactly. I think 2025 is when Avatar is really going to start, which I'm going to say right now. Enjoy it right now, guys, because we can speculate and be joyous and about the anticipation, because it's just the same as this was for Star Wars in 2015. I would say the best time to be a Star Wars fan was literally 2015, before The Force Awakens came out. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was talking about what could happen, you know, all that stuff. And I think that's going to be the same thing in 2025, 10 years later, actually, you know, for Avatar. I think it's going to be super hype. It's going to be super fun to be an Avatar fan in 2025. And it's going to depend on how good the first movie is. Because if the movie's good, then that's great. Then we can have a great start and we can just continue forward. But if it becomes like a, you know, people are like, oh, like we weren't really into what they did for the movie or whatever, then we're gonna get into like, you know, the controversial times or whatever, you know. So let's enjoy what we have right now before 2025, you know. Oh no, you ripped your pants? What? Where did you rip it? Down, you know, down below. Yeah, grab some needles and some thread. Certain parts of the fandom have a lot of beef with Iroh these days. Oh really? People have beef with Iroh? I thought the complete opposite was the case with Iroh. Everybody loves Iroh. I want a mid-timeline Avatar novel. What I want, and I think I'm actually going to make a video about this. I want a mid-timeline video game of Avatar. Very similar to Knights of the Old Republic. But instead of it being, you know, a Jedi, you're, you know, an Avatar. Oh, hey, SSJ. Yeah, you missed a little bit. We talked about the Avatar soundtrack, and now we're talking about the new Iroh comic. That is coming out in summer of 20. Oh, I didn't mention this, guys, but yeah, the comic is coming out next year. It's coming out in summer of 2024. Forgot to mention that one. Sorry about that, guys. Hello, how's it going? I'd rather not have this comic. I'll buy it, sure, but I'd rather have it about some different. I completely agree. Aries Williams. I completely agree with you. I couldn't agree more. I wish the Avatar studio would release a comic book about the new Avatar. They probably wouldn't do that. They're probably going to save the new Avatar for the animated series, and then later on would, you know, maybe make novels or comic books about that character. But no, in terms of starting off with a comic, I can say with 100% certainty they will not be doing that. I sort of hope the creators give the comic and novel writers a little more free reign. There's been very little chance of every single Avatar is going to be explored. Yes, I completely agree. I think that even this story, I don't think they're going to be adding that much lore. It's just going to be kind of like a nice little side story, but it's not really going to be pushing, you know, the narrative of the overall Avatar story forward in any significant way. Like, I don't think we're going to get any groundbreaking information from this. We're not going to get any, like, you know, epiphanies from this comic. It's just going to be kind of like a base level sort of thing going on. Oh, and the other thing I should probably mention is that Avatar Yang-Chen Legacy of Yang-Chen came out. I have not read the book yet because, to be honest, I did not enjoy the first book, if I'm being completely honest. And the second book, I am not super jazzed about either. But I hear that it is better than book one, so hopefully I will, you know, enjoy it a little bit more. Hold on, I'm trying to get the cover Sorry, let me do Legacy of Yang Chen. My bad, guys. Legacy. But I know that some people in the chat have read it and are almost finished or finished with it. I don't know. I think someone said that they're almost finished with it or finished with it or something like that. But it did just come out this last month. It's coming out. Oh, we could read some reviews and see what people are saying like in the reviews. Matter of fact, maybe that's what we'll do. Look at the reviews for Yang Chen. But I did see somebody. I actually prefer Goodreads because Goodreads has more critical reviews. Yeah, let me do Goodreads, and then we're gonna look for Legacy of Yang Chen. We'll read some reviews right now. Why so late? I don't really read the comics. Usually for most Avatar things, I'd be like, no, you should totally read it or whatever. But yeah, you kind of skip most of the comics, honestly. Now the Kyoshi novel, you cannot skip. Read that one. That one's so good to me. Okay, Legacy of Yang Chen. Let's look at some reviews. Legacy of Yang Chen. I hope Korra appears in the new Avatar series. I mean, she should probably. I don't know how they're going to handle the past lives, though. I don't know if they're going to go full restoration, like they'll have some storyline where they're restored, or if they will have what's the other word I'm looking for? Or if they're gonna oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? Wait, hold on. Are there two different things on here? Okay, so there's Legacy of Yang Chen. This one has 92 reviews. This one has 33 reviews. So we'll do this one. It is 1:00 a.m. in Spain. Yeah, I'm sorry for you Europeans. I know it's later for you guys. I want a new show for the Avatar after Korra. Yeah, well, that is in development right now. Would Amon be able to bloodbend a Toph fully covered in metal armor, like the armor she had in the final season of 3? Oh, I didn't really think about that. Like, what would be... Because if you're bloodbending her... no, I would say bloodbending still OP. I think it will still counter... Because you're not bending the metal, you're bending her body. But then I guess it becomes a case of whose will is stronger, right? Like, is Toph's will over metal stronger than Amon bloodbending her? You know, I would say probably Amon, just based on the evidence we have from the show. All right, so let's read some reviews. Typically, when I read reviews for a book, I usually only read like the 2, 3, and 4-star reviews, like instead of it being like everything. So let's look at the 3s first. This entire review has been hidden because of spoilers. Okay, we don't want to spoil anything, so we're not going to do that. All right, 3.5 stars. What a redemption. This wasn't perfect in any way, but boy, it really was quite the improvement from the first Yang Chen book. Okay, that's good, because I'm in the camp of not really enjoying the first book. This time, we actually got to follow Yang Chen as an avatar doing avatar things. It was absolutely excellent and thrilling to see her play the game of wisdom and politics and in air nomads, etc. The tragedies in this one hit really hard. Some seem a bit silly and just for the shock value, aka, whoa, that's a spoiler. I mean, I'm not sure who that character is, but that's a spoiler. I love the redemption arc of so many characters, like yay for them in such a real and authentic ways. The character arcs of the Avatar companions was fantastic. I feel like there just wasn't enough bending. This was a book of political... that's the thing, though. That's what I felt, too. I felt like the first book was way too much politicking. This book was of political backstabbing and being one step ahead of everyone else, and the bending took the hit. There was some good moments and all, but the fight scenes were severely lacking, and I just want more visualization of the bending. There's a huge thing that I really love in the Avatar world that we didn't get in this. Overall, my faith in this series has been massively restored, and I cannot wait for more. Honestly, the first Kyoshi book is bomb, but the Yang Chen book is not that bad to me. Yeah, to me, I just didn't vibe with the Yang Chen book. Bro is saying Yang Chen worse than the last Airbender movie. No, that's actually how you say Yang Chen. If you look at the audiobook, you're supposed to say Yang Chen, not Yang Chen. Let me see if I can find an example for you. I don't know if it'll be in the preview. Oh, let me turn off the let me turn off the music background. So you can hear, yeah, it's actually pronounced Yang Chen, not Yang Chen. Now, the issue is, I don't know if the preview has the name in it, but I assume they would because it's the preview, you know? All All right, let me see.
Making ready. Kavik waited for her behind the hospital in the circle of trampled grass. Were all of those people from Bin-Er? He asked Yang Chen once she emerged.
There you go. Yang Chen. And let me see if it happens again in the book too. They probably do.
Mitigation.
Whoa, the mixing for the audio is different.
The explosions had long since stopped. Kavik waited in the hospital with the others. He knew the Avatar would come straight there to provide healing, if she was still alive. One by one, the injured filed in. He forced himself to look. Walking wounded, mostly the young and old, or people on the smaller side. The villagers who would have been trampled most easily.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not saying the name, but yeah, I think you heard it. But yeah, Yangshin is the official pronunciation of the name, not Yangshin, which also is the way, honestly, how Aang's name is supposed to be pronounced too. It's supposed to be Ong. It's not supposed to be not supposed to be Aang. If you actually are doing the original pronunciation in Mandarin, I believe. But anyway, detour. I hope for the Kyoshi books to be translated to Hebrew because I can't see myself read a full book in English. I can feel that one. Well, why not listen to audiobooks? Can you do audiobooks? Because that's an option. Have you seen Jujutsu Kaisen? There is an ability that a character uses that airbenders should be able to as well. But I won't go into details if you haven't watched it. No, I have not watched it. All right, let me read the second version of review. I was sent my copy way before the release date tomorrow, and I just finished. There was a lot of setup for this story, and not a whole lot of action. The action was short-lived. While I enjoy Yi's writing style, I wish the Yangshin books kept me hooked like the Kyoshi ones did. If you're an Avatar fandom girly, this book is good. Easy, quick read. Otherwise, maybe not so much. Okay, so the two people agreed in terms of the reviews that the action is low, but one person at least said that they enjoyed the book more than the first book, which is, I'm in that camp, so maybe I'll enjoy it as well. Typically, I stay away from the 1-star reviews and the 5-star reviews because those reviews usually are like super whack, honestly. How come I can't see anything? Why is there no reviews for 4? Unless it's because... But anyway, so yeah, it seems like it's better. And I think some people in the chat here said they read the book and that they enjoyed it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who in the chat read it and if they enjoyed it or not. So there is a rumor going on right now that Zito might appear in the following books. However, there was also mention that FCE was done writing the Avatar books, but I mean, possibly not. By the way, guys, this is not official art of Avatar Zito. This is just a fan art made by Avatar News. But it's cool. I think it's, I don't know. Can anyone explain to me what the symbol is on his forehead, though? I don't remember that being explained in the books. I don't remember him, any description of whatever symbol that is on his head. What is that? Are you talking about the icebreaker from JJK? I don't know what JJK is. Yeah, the more reviews they are, the more reliable the score. Correct. I want a 1,000-page Song of Ice and Fire type book, but Avatar. Oh, I mean, that'd be kind of cool though. If it can have the same quality of a Song of Ice and Fire, you know. Oh, we're finally getting back into the Kyoshi novel. Started them. I got sidetracked by real life issues. Oh, yeah, go back, man. It's such a rewarding read. I think it's such a good story, especially the stuff with Avatar or false Avatar Yoon. All right, so let's see. I don't even know the story myself. I didn't even read it before doing the stream. Avatar Zito, the fire avatar before Yangshin, Kuruk, Kyoshi, Roku, and Aang, and Korra, could be the main character of the next Avatar Chronicles book. In a recent interview with Nerds of Color, Chronicles of the Avatar writer FCE said he doesn't know if he'll be writing more books after Kyoshi and Yangshin, but if he had his choice of what Avatar to tackle next, he named Avatar Zito as a possible candidate. FCE introduced Avatar Zito's story back in the Kyoshi books, revealing that he was born in a time of crisis in the Fire Nation due to natural disasters, plagues, and clan conflict. Instead of using his divine position as Avatar to enforce his rule, he joined the Fire Nation government as an entry-level bureaucrat and worked his way up with no special privileges until he was an advisor to the Fire Lord. That's why he has that advisor-like hat and the few glimpses of him that we see in Aang and Korra's eras. But as we all know, there's more to every Avatar than their legacy, and in the Yangshin books, we learn that Zito's life was secretly messy and a library of intrigue in the realm of spycraft and trickery. Ooh, that might be a reason why I should read the book right there. His name comes from the Chinese Han Dynasty title Shitu, meaning minister over the masses. Oh, cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so actually it could be kind of interesting reading a book about that. Because at first someone was like, oh, we should have an Avatar Zito book. And I was like, I don't know. That sounds like it could be kind of boring. It sounds like it's like a House of Cards or something like that. But actually it's kind of cool. If it is about like spy and trickery and stuff like that, you know. It's hard for me to concentrate on a book, ADHD and stuff, but maybe I'll try an audiobook. The comics did get translated. Oh yeah, try comic book. I mean not comic book. Try audiobook. I think that might help a lot. Yeah, I don't really watch anime. That's a big misconception about me. There's a whole episode. If you actually, for you guys who are in the chat right now, if you look up Jubilee anime fan, you'll see a thing. There's a thing there. And you might might see somebody, but you might know. I'd be cool with the Zito novel. I want to see more avatars than the usual core bunch of avatars we've known for years. Yeah, I don't disagree. I would like to see. I don't necessarily want to see or read a book about Zito, but I do like the idea of reading about other avatars that aren't in like the main cast of avatars. Hey, what's going on? Iroh is getting a new comic. We just talked about it a few minutes ago. I'm a bit picky with my anime outside of Full Metal Alchemist and Dragon Ball. Yeah, I liked Full Metal Alchemist a lot as well. I was talking about Infinity Gojo, where nothing can touch Gojo because everything slows down infinity. Airbenders should be able to create layers of air around them to slow objects down around them. Oh, okay. Yeah, Avatar doesn't really get into like that. So that's more of like a Full Metal Alchemist sort of a thing. Like when you go deep into like the magic system like that. How important is it to read some of the Avatar novels? I personally think you can skip Yang Chen's book, but I think it is a required reading for all Avatar fans to read or listen to the Kyoshi books. But that's just my personal opinion. Someone else might have a different opinion, you know. Yeah, audiobooks at 1.5 speed by default. That is my default speed for all audiobooks. The best experience of audiobooks is listening to an audiobook while reading that book. Oh yeah, Jay Bradley, abso-freaking-lutely. I completely agree with you on that. That the best way to listen to an audiobook is with the actual book, which actually happens. There's this thing called Whisper Sync, which hold on, let me share it with you guys right now. So I don't know if you guys are, big Kindle users or not, but there is a function on Kindle called Whisper Sync where it automatically syncs up an audiobook with your ebook, and it is the best experience, period. Here, let me show you guys right now. Yeah. Reduce this real quick. You guys actually can see the screen. So, for example, let me get the microphone here too, so you guys can actually hear it. So, let's say I'm playing this, right?
This was a true test of nerve and agility, but Mamoru, with his springy legs and boundless energy, woke each morning looking forward to the challenge. Mamoru! His friends.
Like, that is the best way to interact with books, I feel. Is having the audio play along with the text, and the text moves with the. It's so good. It's called Whisper Sync on Amazon. I'm not even sponsored. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but I just really enjoy that feature of Amazon Kindle. But now we can just do like live Q&A right now, guys. Since we're at the end of all the news, we've gone through all the news this month. It was a pretty slow month, which is to be expected. Like the writer's strike and the actor's strike is happening right now, so there's not going to be a lot of new information that's going to come out for Avatar, except for like the comic books and maybe some other stuff like the video games and such. But yeah, open Q&A. You guys can ask me anything and I'll answer for like the next like 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. Because I do have some videos that I need to finish for uploading tomorrow and on Wednesday, because I have a sponsorship on Wednesday. So hooray for being sponsored, by the way. I'm getting a lot of sponsorships lately. I hope the 3D in the Avatar movie is just for the elements. I don't think it's gonna be for the elements. I think that's actually still gonna be drawn. I think it's gonna be mostly for the backgrounds and for like things like blimps and things like that. Rise of Kyoshi set the bar so high. Poor Yangshin. Yeah, unfortunately, Katie. At least for me, like I just enjoyed the Kyoshi book so much that like I was expecting Yangshin to be more of that, but it wasn't. But there are plenty of people in the fan base who really enjoy the Yangshin book, so I am just one part of that. I'm missing the. I really want to see an Avatar with questionable ethics. I feel like they've all been way too clean so far. I love Kyoshi's mom's background. Maybe a bounty hunter or something related to crime. Ethan, I agree. I think it's time to see like not necessarily like an evil Avatar, like not a straight up evil Avatar, but like an Avatar that is a little bit, doesn't play by all the rules. I think that would be like kind of a cool thing to see. It could even like, no, the Red Lotus didn't get built up until after Aang's or during Aang's time period. Because it could be the reason why the Red Lotus even came about, but no, that wouldn't make any sense at all. Man, Ken Fam, you've been a member for 21 months. That's so awesome. I'm looking at it right now below me right here, and I'm just like super impressed by that. Thank you so much for the continued support, man. Will you upload more often next month? Next month, I should have, I'm still sticking to my one a week. Although I will say, technically speaking, yes, I will be uploading more because of the sponsorship I have. I will be uploading 2 videos next week. But yeah, no, unfortunately right now, I don't make enough money from YouTube ad revenue alone to dedicate to more videos. I hope that, when Avatar comes back with popularity, like similar to how back in 2020, when Avatar was back on Netflix, that I was able to be full-time on YouTube with ad revenue because so many people were watching those videos because they were so hungry for Avatar. In which case I was putting out like videos every other day. But right now, no, it's kind of like slow times for Avatar. So I can't really sustain myself on multiple uploads a week. But I will have slightly more next month, but just because of the sponsorship I have. What are your thoughts on the Avatar comic made for kids but were goofy when an Avatar YouTuber covered them? Wait, huh? What are your thoughts on that Avatar comic made for kids but were goofy when an Avatar YouTuber covered them? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not familiar with that. What's your favorite Sonic game? Ooh, probably Sonic Adventures 2 on Sega Dreamcast. That was probably my favorite Sonic game. Do you think airbenders exist air like waterbenders or just create their own air like firebenders? Oh, they create their own. Oh, I know what you mean. Are they using the existing air around them? Or are they generating their own air? I think they're using the existing air around them, to be honest. I don't know for sure, though, because actually now I think about it, like within the lore, I don't know if that's the case or not, but I think it's existing. I think the only ones who can generate their own bending are firebenders. What are you going to do if there is cyborgs in the Earth Avatar series? I personally would hate it. I wouldn't hate it, honestly. I don't hate setting stuff. Like, I know there's some people in the fan base who are really, really tied to, like, the more medieval version of Aang's time period. But I don't really... That's not a big reason why I like Avatar. I think Avatar in any setting is cool to me. Which is, I actually am kind of looking forward to the idea of a cyberpunk, future-esque, near-future Avatar, if the rumors are true and that's what's going to happen, because right now that's just a rumor that it's going to be a cyberpunk setting, but I'm actually kind of intrigued about that. I wish Avatar could be more of a household name. I want to mention Avatar and someone not just assume the blue Avatar mentality of nature. I'm the same way, man. I'm so surprised that Avatar is not, but I think there is a chance. There's a chance that in 2025 it's going to be bigger. Y'all, Red Lotus novel or a graphic novel at least. Oh my god. Stop, Jay Bradley. I would freaking adore that. That's the sort of thing that I want to see from the comic books. Man, a Red Lotus comic book would be so sick. Although I think as a comic book would be better because I think a Red Lotus comic will be more action oriented versus like a novel. Because if you get a novel, that's more about like the Yang-Shin novel. I think that's where you would want a storyline like that to be taking place is in a novel, not in a graphic novel. But yeah, graphic novel, Red Lotus origin, whew, that would hit. Or you can see like how Sokka fought the Red Lotus, like stuff like that. Like that's cool because we already know the storyline. And it still can be a side story, but like with significant, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to save that stuff for like the movies or like the new animated series. But man, that would be cool. Who wins in a fight, TJ Young or Aang? Oh, definitely Aang. TJ kind of sucks. If you've read the books, you know that TJ kind of sucks at fighting. Now TJ Young with like some of his friends, that might be different because he can boost his friends. Like that's his whole power. Is that he's a booster. He's not good by himself, but he's better when he's with other people. What do you think the plot for Iroh and June will be about? I think that it will probably be about the apology. I think Iroh is going to apologize like near the beginning of the short or of the comic book, and they're going to go off and I don't know. Iroh's going to help her with like someone who she's trying to bounty hunt or something like that. You know. What do you think about the Last Airbender quest for balance? I think it's really shitty. I have a video on my channel. If you look at my recent videos, it's titled "Avatar Games Deserve Better," and even from that title, I think you can kind of surmise how I feel about Quest for Balance. I'm a new subscriber. What's your thoughts on Korra and how she and the series is received by the fan base? I believe. Hey, also, what's up, Tuba? Everybody say what's up to Tuba. Hey there. I believe that Korra is extremely overhated. In the same way that people say something is like rated or underrated, I believe the best way to describe Korra as being overhated. Is it flawed? Heck the fuck yes, it's flawed. Does it deserve the vitriol that some of the fan base gives to that series? Absolutely not. It is a well above average show. It is a good show, and it's sometimes a great show. With some flaws. It's a great show that's flawed versus some people who try to say that it's a trash show that has no merits whatsoever. But yeah, I'm definitely in favor of Korra. I think it was something about books for preschoolers, and it had some funny things going on. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what Avatar comic for preschoolers you're mentioning. That's my favorite Sonic game too. Yeah, man, Sonic Adventures 2 was great. I want a 300-page big graphic novel. That would be pretty fun. That's basically what we have with the omnibuses for like The Promise and The Rift and stuff like that. The Search. Those are comic books that came out like a few years ago. I think firebending needs an explanation for coming out of the air because it would take up so much screen time if it was in the Zuko movie. I mean, we might, like, since the Zuko movie is standalone, we might get more insights onto firebending in general. But I think it's better when they stop explaining bending, honestly. I think they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. At least with the fan base. Like, I get it when they've explained bending, like, you know, that the lion turtles gave bending to humanity first, and then humanity learned how to do the martial arts of bending from, you know, the original creators, or the original, whatchamacallits, the original benders. But I think the more they try to explain it, I think the worse off they'll be. Like, I think they should just they should stop explaining bending. I think, personally. Just let it be magic. Thoughts on weapons mixed with bending? I'd like to see something like breathing styles from Demon Slayer. Their attacks are based on things like elements, maybe super fast attack with lightning. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if someone like came up with like you know how like the original firearms were literally firearms, like they were like these like basically cannons. Well, if you had like a cannon and you like shoot maybe you put your mouth to it, you shoot fire through it, and it can, like, I don't know, shoot fire longer distances. I think that'd be kind of cool. What do you say about a Persona like Avatar game? Dude, I would love a Persona like Avatar game. My God, I would buy that. I would pre-order that. I would get the collector's edition, even though I don't like collector's editions. Bro, stop. Don't even say that, Paz. Like, that just makes me mad that we will never get a game that is like Persona in the Avatar world. Oh, that would be so great, man. That would be so great. See, and then you have people in the fan base like Jet Strike who's like, Korra is bad. I don't agree with those sort of people. Korra is not bad at all. I think it's very, very far from bad. SSJ, hopefully you know what I meant. I don't know what story you're referring to. I don't know what kids' comic book you're referring to. I guess that story went over my head. Every time I look up Avatar Studios, I find an unrelated St. Louis studio. What? Yeah, what? That's weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird. People are obsessed with hating Korra. Like, if you say, oh yeah, I liked Korra, you'll get people who have like foaming at the mouth. How can you like that thing? It's like, what? It's a good show. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, it's really weird. That's why I say, like, overhated is like the best way to describe Legend of Korra. All the original benders free for all who is winning? I don't know what you're talking about there. Oh, that Chibi comic? Oh yeah, see, I don't even know that there was a Chibi comic that came out. I think the whole cyberpunk setting would be good in an alternate universe, but it kind of ruins the timeline. I don't see how it ruins the timeline. Can you unpack what you mean by that, about it ruining the timeline? Because here's the thing. You still have this extreme timeline of, like, 10,000 years prior. If you want a different setting for Avatar, then just read one of those stories over there. But in terms of it pushing forward, yes, it's pushing forward into the future, which it naturally would do, because that's just how life works. That's how progression of civilization works. Yeah, it doesn't ruin the timeline. It just makes it that maybe you don't, in the same way that some people, like in Star Wars, you might not be a big fan of, like, say, the Imperial timeline, but you're really into, like, the Clone Wars timeline. It's like that. It's just like, oh, you can pick and choose which version, which timeline of Avatar you want to follow. Whoa. Ready to read books made 3... Wait, what? Ready to read books made 3 Avatar books, 2 based off episodes, 1 original. I am not sure what you're saying on that one. Korra was better than ATLA. Can't change my mind. Best thing about ATLA was Azula. Now, I don't agree with that. So, and that's the other thing, too. Because you have such people who are uber haters of Korra, then you have the other people on the other end who are, like, trying to defend it and say that it's, like, super amazing. I don't agree with those people either. Like, I don't think Korra is better than Airbender, for example. By the way, I'm not disparaging people for having these opinions. Like, yeah, you can have, like, super hate opinions or super love opinions. And I don't even think I'm in the middle. I'm more in favor of Korra than I am of disliking Korra. So I definitely am more in line with people who are super in love with it, but I often don't agree with the people who are, like, super in love with it. I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit much. Airbender set the bar too high for other Avatar series, which is why Korra is hated more than it should be. And that, I think that's part of it too. I think that's part of it. It's called Love Potion number 8, and it was made for kids, but the things covered in there was weird. Okay, I have to look that up. I have no idea. I've never heard of that before. Wouldn't you agree that Lion Turtle's voice is hard to understand? No, not for me. I had a easy time understanding. I actually just did a video where I used some Lion Turtle stuff, and actually was listening to that scene, and yeah, no, it was completely fine for me. Does anyone remember the comic with the cookie dough bender? I remember the Shadow Bender, yes, and the old Nick magazine, but I don't remember the cookie dough bender though. Season 3 and 4 of Korra is peak, and the villains are way better than. Yes, I would agree on that though. So that's the thing though. So the conversation between, like, Airbender versus Korra, it's a very nuanced conversation. I think a lot of people try to just, like, really quickly say one good, one bad. It's not really like that. There's a lot of nuance in the conversation to unpack. One of those things to unpack is that yes, Korra's score much better. All her fight scenes much better. Her villains much better. But then, I think Team Avatar and the original series is better. I think the overall storyline is more cohesive and fully realized in the original show. So I think it's a mixed bag. Someone earlier said that Korra is a mixed bag. I actually think that the comparison between the two shows is a mixed bag, in that there's good and bad elements from each of them. Have you been playing Avatar Generations? Not really, to be honest. It's not my kind of game. But I do like all the added content that's in that. Like, they're adding so much lore to that video game, which I think is really cool. Room temperature take here, but Korra is really good. A bit flawed, especially compared to Last Airbender. But as not cool said, Airbender set the bar. Empire State Building levels high. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hate when I search for Avatar on YouTube. I see the Smurfs, but not super funny and super boring. Yeah. All right, I think that's going to be it because I have done the 10 minutes. So that is it for today's stream. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for coming out here. Ken Pham. Hey, hearts in the chat right now for Ken Pham for being a member on the channel for 21 months. That is so awesome. Thank you so much, Ken Pham, for the continued support. As always, you have been staying with it. It's been really dope. Let me say goodbye. Bye, Ninja Meg. Bye, Mentality of Nature. Quintel Tuba. See you later. I just rewatched Legend of Korra when Airbender back to back, and the Korra season 3 was so badass as well. The first, then comparing it to the first series was interesting. Yeah, dude. Like there's some good stuff in Korra. Hey, see you later. Mid Milker. Bye Dylan, bye Javier. Korra is more like a superhero, while Aang is more like a martial artist. I can agree with that. I don't think that's a poor comparison. Ninja Meg, see you later. SSJ, see you later. Not cool. Bye. Thanks for coming out. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining. See you later, Katie Love. Bye, Ethan Craig. Yeah, have a great day, SSJ. I have some editing to do right now. I'm actually really behind because I was at a bonfire last night, and I'm gonna partake in some leafy substances, if you know what I mean. And I knocked out, and I didn't wake up until maybe like 2 hours ago. Paz, hey, see you later. Hey, thank you for coming out to you, Paz. Oh, and also, you've been a member for like a minute. You too. Hey, actually, hearts in the chat for Paz, because it looks like you've been a member for at least a whole year. So thank you for that. Thank you for that support. And Jay Bradley, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, but I love it when I see you. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.